recording. There is a lot to do when it comes to GT. And so I will highly encourage that you just spend your entire week in GT. And if maybe you feel comfortable with the Ganon fight or you're not looking to improve it, you spend an extra few days next week on GT as well. I think it's the most important split to work on. Unless you're like, hey, I can hit a 7.4x GT or 7.5x consistently, I would personally work on that. It's the first split I tell anyone to work on, whether they're rando player or whether they're learning NMG. It's just, all right, let's look at your GT. I want you to feel as comfortable as you can with GT because this is what's going to make or break your PB, especially if you're on PB pace. I want you to feel super comfortable with GT as much as you can. And of course, there is so much RNG in these gauntlets with how the enemies move. So that is why we're going to focus at least on the first 5 for the gauntlet as well. But I think I labeled every room that could be a little bit of a strategy issue of maybe some people don't know what to do in the room. So we're going to go over those. And then I think the red rooms are just really important to just be really crisp in. And that way you don't have to think about too much. You have a game plan going in. Enemies move in a certain way. You're like, I know what I have to do. And that's the plan for today. I picked a few hard rooms. I know Torches 1 can be a little bit tricky. I know Double Crystal can be a little bit annoying for some people, or Fire Snakes. And yeah, I basically labeled every boss fight to just go over. Armos 2 Lamo or Moldorm. And I will always tell people that I do think Agatu is one of the hardest bosses to be efficient at. Like, you're gonna get through it most of the time, but the difference between a 3 cycle and a 6 cycle is almost 20 seconds. It's like kind of like Lambo, where it's an additional 6 seconds per cycle. So if you can get it down to 3 or 4, you should feel really good. But if you're losing and you're getting a 5 or a 6 cycle, that's another 6 or 12 seconds that you're losing, and that can be the difference between you golding or even PBing sometimes, depending on how close of a run you're having to your PB, that Agatu can burn you. So we'll definitely go over that towards the end if we have time. If not, I'll definitely make some more videos this week. And as I said before, I don't mean to repeat myself, but I highly encourage that you focus on GT for the entire week. It's definitely one of the most important splits to work on. Any questions or want me to jump into Gauntlet 1?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yes.
All right. Hey, Senti, how's it going?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Good, good, good. The only thing you missed was we're working on GT the whole week super intensely. All right. So let's go over Gauntlet 1, and I am recording the correct scenes, so I don't have to redo anything, so that's really good. So the first thing you want to do when you walk in is you're just going to hold down left and shoot an arrow at this guy, and you're going to bop him every single time. So this first skeleton on the left, you don't have to worry about him. As you're doing that, you're going to watch the 2 enemies on the right. If anyone moves up, you're going to slash him. If anyone stays down or stays in the middle, you're going to shoot an arrow at him. And then when you're done, you're going to dash to the left and kill the red guy, as well as make your way to the left side of the screen, so that way you can exit out of the door. So that guy didn't go down. That was actually pretty much perfect, right? So the first guy did not go up, so I slashed him. This time this guy goes down. And I would highly recommend trying your best to arrow this guy as best you can. Sometimes when you slash him, he's going to hop, and then he'll hop down here, and you'll have a chance to try to arrow him if you make him hop, but obviously the best scenario is to hit him with an arrow. And then as you see, I want to dash out of the room to kill this red guy. Hopefully, he most of the time is up here. Sometimes he is just chilling down here or here. And usually by then I would just cancel my dash, slash him, and then exit the room. There is one RNG that I actually missed the arrow. That was really weird. All right, so yeah, he kind of trolled me, right? I shot the arrow down the center, and he kind of like went up and left, but he went with the red guy, so I was ready to dash at him. And then, of course, I unfortunately missed the skeleton. But in general, you should just be able to line up with who you need to kill. And I was set up to dash and just kill both of them at the same time. So that kind of almost worked out. And now I want to dash out. So you see how he generally moves up? Either the conveyor belt is pushing him up or he kind of moves up. Sometimes he will fire his attack at you. I generally just try to hopefully frame rule it. So I just run through it. I'm not too concerned about health, but you could avoid it if you want to. I will tell you, if he is up here at the very top and he fires at you, it clinks off the wall. So his attack when he's up all the way up against the wall never will hurt you. And so you are guaranteed to dash and kill him at the top. So small thing like that. I would say let's work with that. I will mention to you, if both of these guys go upwards, it is actually faster to dash through them to the right and then dash back. So that's the one RNG you're kind of looking for something different. So you don't have to slash the guys when they're both at the top. You want to dash right to kill them and then dash back left. So I encourage just to focus on the first thing of just trying to switch between shooting arrows or slashing when they come up. But if you happen to see them both come up to the right, you should be able to dash and kill both of them and then just turn around and dash to kill the right guy. I think that's enough of me explaining. So see that time, see how he clinked off the door? He was never going to hit me because he's at the top wall there. That's a perfect example. Let's do a couple more. That's the one where I can get the 2 dashes off. See how I did that? That's a good example of that. This might hit me. See, I was fast enough to turn and dash. He didn't fire, but sometimes he is going to fire and be fast enough. And you see that I'm not going on the conveyor belt, or I'm really staying right on the edge. Unless I have to go after him to chase him, I'd much prefer to just be moving over here because this is a little bit awkward to be moving left and right. So I'm generally trying to stay at the line that is the conveyor. See, that time I got lucky, right? It looked like he was going to shoot me, but I got through. That's the one where you have to kind of dash to the right. You saw I had a cancel and slash. They kind of went up a little too high for that one. Let's see what happens. See, I got unlucky. So that's just a slash, and then I'm out instead. So he did hit me that time. You see how I'm kind of like shooting at the center of the lane? If you fire at the center, whether he goes left or right again between these blocks because he's a little bit skinnier, you should be able to still hit him. Sometimes you have to shoot all the way against this wall, and you will be able to shoot him if he decides to go right and like kind of hide behind the right block. Yeah, so that's the bad art. See, there you go. There's an example of him going against the right wall, so I had to fire over here. And then again, he went to the top, so I knew he was going to clink against the wall, so I was able to just kill him over here on the dash. All right, any questions? I'm assuming everyone's running through the room right now. Yeah, unfortunately, that red guy takes 2 arrows, so you're going to have to either dash through between the blocks there, Gab, or or shoot 2 arrows. Nice. That was a good one, Gab.
Thanks.
Yeah, BDI, you got to confirm that kill before you start moving back to the left. When he dodged to the right, you got to stay over there, unfortunately. I probably would have tried to dash that BDI. I probably wouldn't have killed him, but at least pushed him to the door. You know what I mean? So, but that was a pretty rare choice. There you go. You got all 3 there. Nice. That was good, Senti. You cleaned it up. I would recommend going after the skeleton first, so that way you can dash to the left, you know, as a small little note to say, you know, kill the red guy last, or the left red guy last. But I mean, you were able to clear him out, so it wasn't that slow. But there'll be other RNGs where that'll feel really inefficient to kill that guy. Yeah. That's very good. Nice. Now it's up to you if you want to add a dash to the left guy a little bit, so that way you get to the right side of the room. Nope, I meant that guy, the last guy. Yeah, the dash to the left.
Oh, him.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The other 3 you're gonna walk. Yeah, that's going to happen, unfortunately. Oh, you got the RNG. There you go. Nice.
So you only dash if they both go up.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. I saw that, Gab. You hit him. Nice. Yeah, it feels really good to be able to hit that, but only if they both go up. That's correct. Yeah, that's going to happen, but you were very quick, Sentia, shooting the arrow, so good job. That happens plenty of times. Yeah, I wouldn't have dashed there, Gab, or killed the left guy. I would have just focused on the right guys. I always kill the red Mohawk guy last. Just to put that out there. Yeah, nice. Nice. Yeah, that's just unfortunate, Gab. I don't know what else you can do.
Yeah.
If he stands right in front of the block, I don't know what else you could do. So I think you did the right thing.
Bad RNG.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty rare.
Come
So
on.
just hold down left Gab out of the doorway and you'll continue to face down. Yeah,
Yeah, I
don't cancel
don't
the stair
know.
leg here. Just hold down left. And you'll continue to face down. There you go. Yeah, remember you only want to dash if they both go up. Otherwise you just want to walk to the right.
They kind of baited me and went down and then up.
Yeah, they do that. That's very nice. All right, I think you guys are good for the next room. I'd argue this is probably one of the harder of the 5 rooms because skeletons can jump really well. Um, I will show you a couple of methods, and you let me know which ones you like better. So if you grab this pot, you should be able to throw it at this guy quick enough, because he's always going to either keep walking or stop. So this is my recommendation for the first guy. Well, he's obviously really fast from me. So yeah, obviously he's going right, and then you get him. And then I usually walk over to slash that second guy, and then the third guy you either want to throw a pot at. So one, that was a clean room. So that's really good. So this guy here is either going to kind of follow this conveyor belt to the right, and you'll be able to slash him on the way, or you'll have to meet him over here in this area to slash him. If anything goes crazy, I encourage throwing pots at him. Wow, I'm having trouble with this pot trap. So went over here, kill him. If any of these guys like walk up to here, just grab one of these pots and chuck it at him. It is very difficult to shoot an arrow at any of these guys, and obviously you're going to be fighting the conveyor like over here to slash him, which may make it very difficult to hit him. So other than that, I'm generally trying to slash him. If you can, if you feel really comfortable, an arrow is technically faster when they're at the bottom. So if you see the guy going to the bottom right corner or the bottom left corner, that I'm okay with shooting arrows at. But if anything is above you, I do not bother if they're on the conveyor. I think you're asking for trouble. The other thing I was just going to mention is if you're fast enough and you see that this second guy, here, let me just kill this guy a second, moves to the right, right? You saw that how that one time he took the conveyor a little bit. You can technically, after the pot throw, get a dash here, and you're going to kill both of them. It is very possible, and that is a faster way to deal with it. But you have to recognize that RNG. So that, like that, for example, BDI, you might have been able to get a dash to try to kill one and push the other one by the door with that RNG. But unfortunately, certain things can happen, right? Sometimes you have to kill the third guy instead. So yeah, that was actually very close, Senti. If you just dashed a little bit quicker, you would have gotten both of those skeletons at the same time. That was the RNG I was talking about. But you have to see it, and you have to be quick about dashing when you need to. Yep. See, there you go. That's it. That's it. If that feels really awkward to do as a reaction, then just do slashes. There's no shame in doing that. You're only saving like a half a second or so if you can get the dash. So, but You should only do that dash if you see the left middle guy move to the right. That's the only time you should be doing that dash. Otherwise, I'm usually chasing that guy every time. Yeah, Senti, I'm actually chasing the guy you're killing to do that guy second.
Oh,
Yeah. You
okay.
only want to do the dash if you watch him move to the right. Otherwise, you want to actually follow the conveyor like this and then slash him around here. Because usually he hangs out over here. That's what he normally does. So it's throw the pot and then follow to chase that skeleton and then kill this guy in the bottom right corner.
Okay.
Much better. Very nice. Yeah, and that's the scariest part, Gab, was when things get really hairy like that. That's what we want to minimize as little as possible. Okay, you got him that time. Nice, Gab. Do this a few more times for other people. That's really scary, actually. But I'm trying to get like as close as possible when I have to slash these guys too. Hmm. Wow, you really have to throw that pot instantly sometimes. Jeez. That could have been one where you shot an arrow left BDI towards the end since he was at the bottom. Or that one too, if you wanted to be a little bit crispier on trying to shoot an arrow. Left and right is fine. It's up that I would recommend not doing. This is a tougher. I think this is the hardest of the 3 or 5, however you want to put it. Yeah. Oof. Oh no. Wow. You really got away from me that time. I don't know if you guys saw, but Retro Mel got his 124 just a little bit earlier today.
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah, he got it. He got
Very nice.
124.50. He went into Ganon like minus 20 seconds and he was missing spins. And I was like really worried because he was running low on magic, but he cleaned up the last 2 with triples.
Very nice.
Yeah. All right. Any questions or certain RNGs you're worried about? Or are you guys ready to move on to G3?
G3.
G3? BDI? Senti?
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. So let me clear out this room one more time. And I'll make a save state here. All right. So you have approximately 1.5 tiles to make this dash that I'm doing. So you have the full tile that is the regular underneath the spikes, the regular tile, and you have about a half a tile on the conveyor. So you have a lot more space than you think since the BMOS are in the center. So what I do is I slash the right guy, and I'm trying to do this dash. Now, what you have to watch out for is the guy that's at the bottom of the door right now is in a good place. Sometimes he does not do that. Sometimes he likes to go in between the spikes And so if he does that, you're going to stop and slash him. So I'll show you a few of the RNGs, but in this case, we're in a good RNG where I'm just going to continue blazing past the BMOS and kill this guy, and then kill that guy and exit out. If that guy decides to go up the spikes, you will have to cancel your dash and slash. Sometimes he just books it and goes to the other side, and you know what? You're going to have to go after him some other way. So if he goes to the top, or this guy that's in this bottom left corner goes up, you're going to have to chase after him and slash him, and then do a lap to wrap around. So let's see if I can get other RNGs for you. So here's one where he went up, and of course he decided to just book it. So I did not get the slash off. I got a little bit greedy with the arrow, but it worked out. But you see, this time he stopped. That time I can catch him with the slash, and now I can come over here to get this guy. So this is one where I messed up the dash, and it wasn't going to be that scary. So I caught that guy. That guy was trying to run away, so I went after him first, and then I went after the bottom guy. So if you recognize someone, the middle guy kind of hangs by the door, then you know what? It's worth killing him last. Sometimes you're going to kill him second, sometimes you're going to kill him third. So this time I have to kill him second. And you have to feel comfortable just like doing one tap up, right? That's all I'm doing is one tap up to face up to slash him. Gotta do it again. That time he ran away from me. This guy kind of stayed in the bottom left corner, so I decided to chase after the top right guy instead to exit out. So one other suggestion if you wanted to. If one of the guys goes to the top and you don't want to go to the top, you can shoot a fire rod shot to kill him. And then you can replenish your magic in this bottom left corner with this magic. That's going to change your strategy for the next room, which I'm going to show you guys. I usually like to use the bow, but I want to show you this as an alternate instead of coming up here to chase after somebody. So I definitely encourage trying it out. We'll have to think of a different strategy if you decide to use the fire rod in this room, because I'm going to show you how to use the bow in the next room. But feeling comfortable getting this dash is probably the most important thing. You're going to do it on this conveyor, and you're going to do it about here. So the conveyor is going to push you a little bit down, and you have to believe in yourself to go above this BMOS. So that's too high, obviously. But if the conveyor was pushing me down, you see how low I am? Like I'm on top of them. I'm not getting hurt. So I want you to encourage you that you can really stand on top of this BMOS pretty easily. So have at it. Let me know if you have any questions or any RNGs as you guys are wrecking. Yeah, it's unfortunate, BDI, but I think you did a good job cleaning that up. Almost Senti. If you just finished that dash all the way, you would have killed that guy immediately. So unfortunately, you canceled that dash to the left a little bit too short. But you could have gotten that guy off the dash.
Because I've seen that sometimes people stop like right here before you get to the conveyor, but if that guy's on the wall, I'm
Yeah.
gonna overshoot it.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
Okay.
Especially since the middle guy went to the door. You can definitely deal with him last.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, this is just the stupid RNG. That's nice. That was perfect.
Okay.
Very nice.
When's it worth it to go back around the loop versus going down against the conveyor?
I'll say like halfway or so. I can tell you that if you wanted to, there is a spot like you can get a dash here if you practiced it. Of course, this BMOS is in the way, but like you could dash like through here if you needed to against the conveyor, and it won't affect you. But like you have to be like starting almost like by the pot, because that conveyor is going to push you to the right, and you don't want to get hit by the spike. Then obviously if the BMOS is in the way, so pretty much leaning against the pot seems to work. And you can dash over the conveyor that's against you, and it won't affect you. that's pretty precise, right? The BMOS is shooting you. You're stressed already as a PB, so I recommend practicing that if that's a strat you're going to go for. I personally switch to Fire Rod if they're going to be at the top. I'm usually trying to avoid doing an extra lap, but I think that for people going for sub 90, I think an extra lap is completely fine. I think you can eat the couple of seconds and just be like, that was unlucky. Wow, this is very disappointing. All right, you guys ready for G4? Or any questions about G3 before I move on?
No, I'm okay.
Okay. It's a very tough room, especially when they just do not appropriately stay, in your line of sight or they go to the top of the room. It's very frustrating. All right. So I'm going to show you both strategies if you don't have a bow or a fire rod. So I recommend still having the bow out, and basically I hold down right, and I will either pop this guy or I'm going to miss, and he's going to be short. Because I'm just going to dash afterwards. Well, it helps when you hit him. So this is always going to kill him. See how he stopped short there, but he didn't get hit by the arrow? Well, it really helps when I shoot this arrow when I want to. But you want to do it basically right when you enter the room, as you hold down right. And that's guard number 1. Now you're going to say to yourself, Coin, you just showed me a strategy where I'm not going to have this bow. So instead, I encourage you to walk forward and do a slash. Like that. This will get him every single time. So you know what? If you're someone that's like doesn't care for a bow, you can do this. I think it's a little bit slower than doing the dash, but you can definitely do this every time. So that's guy number 1. So now you're going to ask me, what do I do about guy number 2? Well, let's see what he does. This time, I like to actually menu to Fire Rod, and that is how I deal with his RNG. So that is how I recognize what am I going to do when I get here. And then I kind of try to move over and then make my way out of the room. So this one I have to really move over here. And then I try to dash out of the room, especially if I'm high in the room. There are definitely RNGs where you will be able to dash and just kill the guy off the first dash down. You just have to be careful about that BMOS. You see that top left BMOS wants to hit you? So if you make your way down to the bottom where I'm at here, basically by the door, you will have to fake out the BMOS to the left and then go over here to slash this guy to the right. So after you dash down, man, these BMOS are really annoying. I move a little bit to the left to dodge the BMOS. And then I go over here to slash this guy that's hiding on the right. So let's see if I can get that RNG and show you. See how I dodged that? I did miss the top guy, but that's what I was talking about. If I immediately turn and slash this guy out of the dash, the top left BMOS is going to hit me. So that is what I want to encourage you to not do. So that was an example. Did you see how I got him with that dash? I got him the whole way. And what did I do immediately? I hid to the right to the left of the door because I knew that guy was going to hit me if I didn't do that. So I like this menu here because then I can decide what I want to do. When I menu either here or here, depending on where he stops, I'll then be able to say, how am I going to go and get that guy? And that's when I either slash him at the top or I'm going to be dashing down to over here. And then I will menu to Fire Rod, and then I'll decide how I'm going to slash him. So this one, he's going to come at me. I'm going to move to the see? Dodge to the left. That's the BMOS we're avoiding. And then I will go to the door. This one, I'm going to move a little bit to the left first. I didn't do it quick enough because I was kind of talking at the same time. But that's the one I'm talking about of trying to move to the left and then out. Helps when you actually go to fire rod, but dodge and then slash and then head back to the door. So I encourage you to learn both. You may end up using the fire rod menu in the other room, and you may have to do the slash method of just walking forward. And if you wanted to default to that, I'd be okay with that. I don't think you're going to be losing that much time. It's just very awkward to have to move to kill the second guy because of this ice. And I find with the menu, it allows me to control that a little better. And if you're at the top, if you end up slashing this guy on the ice or on the conveyor belt, you can then dash out of this room instead. All right, go forth and attempt this one. Nice. That's the RNG we want, Gab. Very nice. Yup, that's the one we're scared about, BDI. That's exactly it. Yeah, there's a little bit of that lockout phase of slashing. Yeah, and you dash out. Perfect, BDI. You could have dashed out if you wanted to, Gab, right when you hit the that ice at the bottom.
All right.
Yep. Just a small thing, but I mean, you cleared out the enemies very well. This one, like, kind of feels like it's like 90% consistent. I mean, the obviously the bottom guy can definitely do a few different things, but this one I feel like is very more manageable to control what they're doing. And that's why I feel like the menu to fire rod is very powerful. Try to shoot the arrow faster, Senti. There you go.
Okay, so with the second guy, when you want to dodge and move to the left, that's when you want to menu to fire rod.
I like to menu by canceling the dash. So I will do it here, basically. And then I'll decide how I'm going to cancel the dash. So I'm obviously too low now. But you want me to show you the example when he's at the bottom, right? So
Yes.
right around here is where you're going to. So here, left, and now slash. So
Okay.
what I guess the best way to explain it is I'm still dashing when I menu, but it's right out of the menu is when I cancel my dash. So I hold left out of the menu.
Okay.
Remember to hold down right, Senti, out of the doorway. Yeah, out of the doorway holds down right. That's it. That's what you want to do. Perfect. Nice dash, Gab. I saw that one. All right. That's right. There you go.
If the first one casts in front of me, it's like it's because I took too long to show the arrow, right?
Yes.
Or there are RNG where it can just zoom past you.
No. There should not be an RNG where he can get past the arrow. He should always either get hit by the arrow or he just stands still and the arrow flies past him and you kill him with the dash. So,
Right.
yes, you were either too slow of holding down right out of the door or you're just not shooting the arrow quick enough. That's right.
Okay.
I will tell you, if you are frame perfect of dashing out of the door, you don't have to shoot an arrow, technically. But I think there are very few people that can dash perfectly right out of the door when it starts. But you should be able to get him every time. But it is tough. That's why I see even Dutap, who's a top 5 player, he always holds down and just slashes. He doesn't even shoot the arrow. So definitely encourage practicing that as well if you end up having a fire rod in the previous room for the menu instead of this room. All right, any other questions for this room, or should we move on to G4? Oh, I did not mean to make a save state there. Whoops. All right, let me get over there. Oh, I mean G5. We're already on G4. I meant to say G5. All right, so let's say you get a dash out of this room. All right, so what I like to do is hold down left and shoot a fire rod, and this will kill this guy every time when it hits the skeletons. No matter what he does, as long as you take one step down left, you're gonna pop the skeleton every single time. I know some people like to try to use an arrow to kill him. It can work on certain RNGs, but if that doesn't work, you have to menu to fire rod and kill him with that. But some people try to save the magic because then if you only use 5 shots on Landmo and the 2 red blocks, you'll have an extra magic for Torches 1 to shoot the fire rod shot. So that way you don't have to pull the magic out of the pot. So by not using the fire rod shot here, you're saving a fire rod shot for Torches 1. I don't recommend going for that, but I figured I at least mention to you that you may see some people use a bow here, especially if he holds right like he's doing right now. You could get him with an arrow shot and save the magic. But I don't recommend it, especially since I'm convincing you guys to be menuing in the previous room. I figured I'd at least bring it up. So after that, either this guy is going to go down or up. He only has 2 RNGs. We want him to go up. But if he doesn't, you have to feel comfortable slashing in order to give yourself momentum. And what I found personally is I kind of try to do them. I don't know. I take like an extra couple of steps and then I do another slash. So it's slash, slash, and then I'm out. So that one was not that bad. Slash, slash, and then slash. And then I was worried if I was going to hit the fireball. But I found that spamming slash does not work for me. So this is definitely a room to play with ice to figure out what's going to work best for you. Especially when he goes to the bottom like that. I will tell you that you can nudge this door very well. So I would also encourage practicing to see how low you can be when nudging the doors and stuff. Like, let's see if this works. Okay, so guess what? You can't be too low to nudge the door. I just nudged the pots and I was able to get out. So if I nudge these pots... Oh, I lied. You got to be 1 up from that? Shoot. Oh, come on. Let me out. Yeah. So you have to be 1 up from being lined up with the pots. To put that out there. Now, let's see. If I cannot die. Okay, that's too low. That's too high. Seems like it's about halfway. Well, that's definitely going to work. What about this? That doesn't work. 8? No. Well, this is what I would recommend is definitely experiment with what can nudge and what can't nudge. And you will be very surprised to see that a lot works. Obviously on the bottom. As long as you're just 1 pixel higher than the pots, it'll work. So you should be able to get it before the fire rod shot. Even the Medusa head firing at you, that fireball. Even if he goes down, you should be able to dash below it. But I have seen some people kind of just wait this out, right? They kind of wait for the Medusa head, and then they go up here, and then they well, it doesn't help when I'm getting destroyed by the BMOS. So you can like kind of dodge the fireball to the right of it, I guess, and then work your way up like this, so it's below you. If he goes up, you should not have too much of a trouble. It's only when he goes down that he can kind of escape. So yeah, that's an example of being above the fireball. But that fire rod shot off the bat, you should be hitting that every time. That should be like an instant kill of that skeleton. Yeah, ice physics is really weird. I don't know how to really teach that or explain that, but there's definitely something about slashing to get the momentum you need. And I usually do like one slash, and then I kind of like walk like 2 ice block tiles to see what he's going to do. And then I'll have to swing at the very bottom right corner, or obviously right here to get him when he goes up. But yeah, when he goes down, it's like really annoying. But I would highly encourage practicing when it comes to how the ice physics work and trying to change your direction, like kind of like what we were doing with the ice palace, that second room. Remember how I was showing you guys that you can cancel momentum with dashing? So I find slashing is better in this room that we're doing, but you can definitely do it with your A also, as you can see. Yeah. I guess that you really would only do that if you have to like completely reverse what you're doing. Yeah, the best I can really do is show you examples.
So when the red guy goes up, you dash into him, right?
No, I slash him.
No.
No, when he goes up, I'm usually catching him here every time with the slash, right about there. So I do one slash to gain momentum, and then the second slash is here when I react to him moving up, and then I will hold down to dash out of the room. No, the only dash I do is leaving the room. Yeah, I think up is very consistent. It's down that's like really annoying that you have to chase after him. So, Gab, I'd recommend you line up with the door by moving up after you kill him and then dashing left as best you can. And that might have been a nudge. I want to let you know that could have been a nudge. You want to fire right quicker, like instantly when you walk in, Gab. You're aiming for the skulls. More down left. I'm sorry, not instant. There you go. One step down left and then a fire rod, so not instantly. But you will you'll basically hit him with the explosion. That was very good, BDI. I like that a lot. Very nice. So I think that like
really
during
low
the
is
oh sure
below the fire or above the fireball better when the like right guy goes really like down then down.
I
That's
think
the
the
hardest one
answer
I'm
is
finding.
you're taking up more time. If you're not able to beat the fireball, then you've lost a little bit of time. So technically you want to be under it the whole time if you could. If you have to wait for it to like crisscross with you and then you go and then you go above it, that means that you've technically lost a little bit of time.
Yeah, when he's down in the very bottom right corner, that's the annoying one.
No, absolutely. I agree. I think it's much harder. That was a good one, Gab. Nice. What I was going to say is kind of as I shoot the fire rod shot, I switch to down right. And that I think is
why is the beamos never shooting me?
I don't know. That's really
Is it
weird. Yeah, the BMOS
the
isn't trying to hit
brightness
you
there?
right now. No, you I
He
think that
shoots me, but nothing gets out. I think maybe it's a safe state.
maybe. What I was just gonna say, Gab, is I think you want to hold down right quicker after the fire rod shot, and you'll be heading more towards the right side a little bit better. Yeah, so it's
down
like,
right.
so yeah, as the fire rod is out, I hold down right, and once I see that Link is moving in a down right, then I slash again, or I save and quit. But yes, that's at least what I'm trying to do. So here, let me do it a few times for you. That's where I
Thought that
slash.
you were not allowed to do 7 quits.
I know, you would think.
Cheating. Can't believe that.
Yeah, ice is pretty funky like that, but I think that is what's going to get you more to the right side where you need to be, Gab, is to be
Right.
switching to down right as the fire rod is out, and then right when the fire rod is gone, you're going to slash.
Yeah, I think it's easier now.
Good, good, good. All right, I think we kind of flew through the gauntlet. I'm pretty happy with this. I highly encourage, if you only have time to do it, work on those 5 rooms. Those are the most important things you can really get muscle memory for, and that is going to either cost you a lot of time or really save a lot of time. I encourage it. Let's go over some
Right.
Lambo 2. So, the first thing to talk about Lambo 2 is if you do use your powder on this bunny beam and you take a long time in this room, the Lambos are already doing their thing. So you'll see that since I've been sitting here talking in this room, they're going to all spawn at the same time. So it's very important that you start with this dash because now they are going to be separate. So if you have to powder that bunny beam, you just recognize that the top 2 might spawn at the same time. So just be aware of that. That's the main thing I want to warn you about. So let's pretend that you were fine, right? You had enough hearts, you didn't use the bunny beam, and then you just dashed through this room. So what I do is I hold B, I do a little bit of a spin, and I release my spin attack here. Now, most of the time, this guy in the top left corner is going to go either down or right. And so I'm going to hold right to go after him with a fire rod shot. Now, if he goes left, I'm going to leave him alone. I'm just going to have to say it's going to have to be a 2 cycle, and I'm not going to bother going after him. It's you just have to own the L of the RNG. After that, I'm going to move above the top right guy, shoot 2 fire rod shots down, and then the bottom guy, I'm going to shoot 2 shots down. And I'm going to try to get closer to the bottom guy because if he does a little short hop, I want to be able to try to get 2 fire rod shots off of him. So unfortunately, the top right guy got me a little bit. So I'm going to spin him and now fire rod. And then I'm going to wait here for the last shot of the Medusa head because sometimes the Medusa will keep the Medusa will keep firing until the door opens. So let me do this a couple of times for you guys. Yeah, that's unfortunate. If you are down to the amount of magic that I'm at right now, where you only have 1 fire rod shot, that means you have to pick up this magic over here. This is the perfect amount that you need for magic. It will allow you to do 2 red block shots, and it will allow you to do 3 torches for torches 1. If you have less the magic than what I have right now, you have to have an alternate plan. Otherwise, you have to grab this magic. So 1 extra fire rod shot means that you have to grab that magic. See, that was a perfect one. So I have enough magic, so I can make my way up to Wizrobe's one. See how I kind of was hint of sneaking a little bit lower to catch the third guy? You can be even lower if you realize he's going to do a down left. The sooner and closer you can get with these guys, the more consistent you'll be. All right, so once that time I recognized he was coming up towards me, I kind of just faded away and shot my second fire rod shot here. There are times very similar to the bow where if the guy is going really fast up and left or up and right, you'll have to fire rod to the side instead of downward. That's one of those things you just have to recognize and be able to feel comfortable shooting. So I'll do this a few more times. So this time I can chase him. Okay, fortunately he went straight at me. That's like the easiest RNG.
I somehow got a double spin on the first one.
Really?
He like went straight up.
That's crazy. I don't think I've ever seen that. It just must have been very comfortable that he was going upwards. I don't think I've ever done that. That's pretty crazy. Nice. I do want to warn you. I have done this a couple times in a run. It is possible that at the end of the spin attack hits the first worm and you fire rod too early and the damage doesn't count for the fire rod. You technically can be too fast of doing a spin attack to a fire rod that it only counts as one hit. So be careful about that. So that's why this timing of how you hit him is very important. So if you're too efficient, one of the fire rod shots is not going to count. I've been caught by that a few times, so I do want to caution you guys for that. How you guys feel about this? Are you getting a lot of 1 cycles? At least hopefully 2 cycles?
I just got my first 1 cycle.
That was your first one? All right, nice. You want to go around him, BDI. So if you have a second, I want to show you.
Yeah.
So this is the right amount of magic.
Yes, you have the correct amount of magic. You do not have to pick up any more. That's correct. But I just want to show you. Yeah, sure.
Sure.
So you got 2 red blocks, and then you got lamps. I just wanted to show you that, Gab, that you want to go around this guy like this. See how I fake out the fire rod shot? Yeah, you want to wrap around.
Okay.
Now the fire rod won't hit you. The fireball won't hit you. That's what I want to see. But you see, the second one I try to shoot downward. I don't try to move to the right of him. Yeah. So if he books it to the right, you have to move to the right really quickly. You want to be a little bit lower with the spin attack. Yes. That's where I want you. And try to push yourself up and right. So when he does that, when he goes left, you just have to give up on him. You cannot chase him. It's not worth chasing him. If he goes straight up or straight down, you can catch him. But when he goes left, you have to bail on him, unfortunately. It's a tough fight. It is. I know it looks simple when everyone's just shooting fire rod shots, but it's not. And a good thing that a good example of what happened for BDI, he chose to do a slash and it cost him a cycle. It's much better to kill him with an extra fire rod shot and grab the pop magic in the next room rather than wait a whole cycle to do another spin or slash. I think that was a tough one, BDI. I don't know about that one. That was a tough one. Oh, he eats the shot and he gets through. Nice, BDI. There you go. Nice one, Gab. That was it. Nice.
Come on.
You were a little late on that spin attack. Gab. Yeah, I saw that again, BDI. I saw that.
I'm doing the spin really late.
You did the spin late, and he also went up into you. So it didn't, it didn't like push you. It was really weird. That could happen. If you press down and fire out on the same frame, you'll still fire to the right there. This is not an easy fight, and I encourage you to practice this a few more times over the week.
Easy.
Nice. There you go, Gab. You have to feel very comfortable that you're going to react to which way they go, because they are definitely going to go in, unfortunately, not the same directions. A little too early, Gab. I like that you killed the second guy that time, Gab. I think we lost Senti, though, unfortunately.
Oh.
I think she lost internet. Unfortunate. All right, you guys ready to move to the next one? I think we can do either Torches 1. I think Torches 1 is a good idea, and then we can decide if we want to go over Mimics or we want to do Agate 2. I think there'll be more value in me teaching you Agate 2, and we can I can make a video about Mimics. But if you guys are like, hey, I really want to go over Mimics, I could do that instead of Agate 2. What do you guys feel is more important? I guess we can decide after Torches 1. Okay, so you got two options for Torches 1. Let me start with the slow method. The slower, I'll say, strat. That is, you just kind of wait for this to go by. Lamp, 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 dash here. You're going to pick up this pot if you don't have enough magic. Fire rod, and you're out. So it really is just a little bit of a wait. Lamp. One thing I'll tell you to do is experiment how far away you can be when you pick up this to do this lamp. See that I am nowhere near that torch? I bet you I could be a little bit further away. So don't be afraid to experiment with left or right. I can tell you that the torch at the top, the first one I'm describing, you have to be really close to it. But the right and the left one, you don't have to be as close. So wait. So let's see if I can be a little more greedy. See how far away I am this time? Look at that. I'm not even able to dash down, but I'm able to light it there. So just to goes to show you how far away you can be from left and right. And then you're going to fire rod and then dash out. So the other method is you rush your way over to the right one, light that, and then you're able to do the top one. You see how I was able to beat the fire bar? And then you're going to have to just dodge the fire bar there and then go up. So even if you were a little bit slow and you took a couple of hits, you can still do this with the fire bar there. See, I still get through even if I take a couple of hits, and then you'll do the same thing at the bottom. If you have enough magic, maybe Lambo doesn't take the full 5 hits or something, and you do it in 4. You could skip the pot at the bottom. It will save you time to just stand up above the pot and fire right up and then run out of the room. So I do encourage that. I do think that the faster strat in this room does take a bit of work. It is not needed for sub 30. You're only losing a couple seconds. So if you don't like it, don't worry about it. But I just figured I would show you both strats. Feeling comfortable. You see how I'm like not even in the center? Like you can be...
Oh.
I kind of end up not doing too many diagonals, except for this one. That's the one diagonal I kind of cut right here. All the others I kind of just do up, right, down, right, up, left. But this one I feel very comfortable with is when I'm going to the left torch. Yeah, I don't know what it is about that one, but I like to hit that one. But I will tell you, if you're not as comfortable with the fast one, you don't have to worry about it. Or you can say, you know what, I want to learn it and practice it. But you can be quicker than the fire bar. And if you want to be extra spicy, which is something I
Oh
don't
boy.
do, extra spicy is this can be a lamp dash at the end. You can item dash this. I don't think I'm going to be fast enough. But you can beat this fire bar if you're quick enough for all 3 torches. Nope. Well, if I pressed Y, I would have had it. But you can actually do a lamp dash there to dash turn right here. There you go. Well, I was a little too slow, but I'm letting you know that is technically possible. But you have to do everything very smoothly. There you go. See, that time I got by it. But that's extra spicy. But it can be done. But I mean, you got to hit all 3 torches pretty efficiently to do that. I think what you're
So
you had it.
you
I think
dodged.
I
Yeah,
think
that was right.
yeah.
Come on.
I think what's happening is you're getting pit stated and you're still holding down through the dash. You don't want to do that for this because pit state will cancel the dash. I mean, depending on health, getting hit twice by the fire bar is not going to really hurt you too much. But it's about crisp movement and not, getting that wiggle off of the pits, as well as grabbing the pots and efficiently.
Yeah, it's touching the hole that
Yeah.
slows down.
So I'll tell
You're
you,
not getting.
maybe experiment with less diagonals. It's just like up, left, down, right. Yeah.
Oh. So when I get out of the door, can you go? I can continue and get down, or boy. No, I need to diagonal out of the door.
Out of the two torches, yeah, you want to hold down right out of the door. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, get closer to that blocks going back though. You're gonna have to switch to down though. Yeah, you can't just hold down right the whole time. You have to switch to down.
Damage boost. Oh boy. There you go.
Looks like it's about a half a second if you can get that sweaty dash out of the room, approximately. That doesn't sound worth it to me.
Does that lose time and it's just swag doing a fire dash?
No, it actually does save time. It does.
It
If
looks slower, but that might just be the way I
yeah,
do it.
no, it definitely does save time if you can hit it.
So that at the opposite buttons really close to each other.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. It is weird to hit Y and A at the same time. It's a very tricky room because you have to be very precise to be going around the holes or the falling of this room. So that's kind of why I do push people to do not diagonal moves around the block. And then once you start to feel a little more comfortable with that, then you can switch to a few diagonals. You could be sneaky. But it's definitely a tricky room, so that's why I wanted to go over it.
Got it.
Nice. GG's.
14-13.
14-13 is fantastic time. If you can do that in a PB, you're doing great. In a run, that's great.
Yeah.
So now we got to find the consistency for that 14-13.
First you got to get to the room.
Absolutely. You got to do it
That's the
once.
first step.
You got to do it once, and then you can find the repetition. Good. I'm glad.
Yeah, exactly. I feel that in speedrunning the most difficult thing is to do it once. And then once you get a feel for it, it's get easier.
Yeah. No, absolutely. All right. What do you guys think? You want to do Aga 2 or do you want to do Mimics? What do you guys want to lean towards?
I think I
Ugh.
prefer well, let me remember how.
Yeah.
I think I prefer
I get
Aga 2
you.
there.
You want to do Mimics? Okay, let's do Mimics.
I think the other way, I'd prefer Aga 2.
Oh, you would prefer Aga 2? I'm
before.
sorry. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that we both say I got you. I was
Oh,
confused.
oh, okay. Then I didn't hear you correctly. All right, so let's do Aga 2. Then I'll definitely make a recording about Mimics then. All right. This is definitely me gabbing and making a TED talk about Aga 2. There's a lot to talk about. In general, I am trying to do slashes. I feel more precise with slashes than with spin attacks. But there are definitely times if all three are going to attack at the same time, I will do spin attacks. So I'll give you a scenario of what I usually do, and then I will go through, I don't know, 20 or 30 different scenarios, and we will figure out what we should do together. So first thing when you want to walk into this room is you want to hold the door to cancel lag, because as he splits up like this, it's actually laggy. So you want to hold the door. So the first one that he shoots, he's going to always shoot an energy ball. So this is a very good example of a spin attack. Every time he's going to shoot an energy ball, so I kind of want to back up, and hopefully I will be able to hit him with all three. So you want to stand close to him and then back away, so that way the ghosts attack when you're close to him, and then when you back away, you'll be able to attack all three at the same time. So this is probably a slash one. Yeah, unfortunately I was a little too low. This will probably be a spin. And then I turned to finish that off. Now I'm towards the end, so I might as well just do a spin towards the end, and that's it. So let's get another scenario. This is going to be slashes. It's not a very good one. They were kind of really lined up. This is also a really bad one. But I always want to be orthogonal. You see how I'm kind of like waiting here a little bit? That time I took a damage boost, and I'll explain that in a moment afterwards also. See how I kind of baited, and then I want to push it down? I was a little bit too late on that. But you saw how this ghost, I wanted to bait him here and then back up to slash. So let's find another one. This is just a spin. That was a free one. This is a slash. See how I'm baiting and then backing up? Unfortunately, he shot an energy ball at the end. Bait, slash. You don't have to be as close as I am, but practice it. And what I would encourage you to start off with is just only slash. Just only do slashes and feel comfortable with these baits that I'm doing. Then we can find the right times to be doing spin attacks when you can. So what's good about that is that the real one was last. If the real one is not last, you have to be worried about blue balls. If you attack him from above or below, a blue ball is going to hurt you when it splits. And so being last with the real one is very important. If that is not the case, and the real one is second or first, I will take a damage boost. I will walk into him purposely, so that way I will be invincible when I split the blue one. and that will allow me to stay where I am and not getting hurt. What were you gonna say,
I got
Gab?
the 2-cycle. I
You
got
got
the 2-cycle. They were lined up in a line in the first RNG, and then in the second and RNG, they were lined up in another line.
well,
Like a
that's the
perfect
dream.
cycle.
I wish that could happen every time. But that is
Yeah.
the dream for the double triple. The other thing I wanted to mention to you is that if the ghosts are at the very edges, yeah, this is not a good example. Let me see if I can get one where they are at the edges. Here, look at this. Let's
Oh.
pretend the real one was in line with them, right? Let's say it was one big line at the top. You can stand inside a ghost and it will not hurt you. So I would just be able to do a spin attack here and then hit everything straight up. So if you have a line up and the ghost is at the edge, you can stand inside them. It is only the attack that's going to hurt you. Other than that, I feel like we can just play kind of like a game of what would you guys do in these scenarios, and I will try to give you. Yeah, that's a tough one. I think you just got to eat that one, you too. So the other thing I think you guys know about, but I'll say it out loud anyway. If two energies balls hit him on the same frame, it only counts as one. So you actually do want them to be spaced out if you have the opportunity to. That might
So
have
the
only
goal is
counted
to
as two.
the goal is to be like
Yeah, that did
at
count.
90 degree from him.
Yes, absolutely. I think it is much easier. Oh, I didn't even realize which was the real one. That's embarrassing. Yes, I think it is much easier if you have the opportunity to be left or right of him, because then the blue ball, if it comes out, won't hurt you. But if you have to, you can be above or straight above him or straight below him. So yes, I absolutely agree. That is easier to attack the shots back. Yeah. So that was one where the real one is last, so I'm being a little bit more aggressive of standing straight below him, even though I might get hit. And then obviously when it's like the third or the fourth attack, then you might as well just stand below him if you have to, because you know there's only one or two hits left. But the hardest part, in my opinion, is just timing these slashes the way you want to. And if you realize something is very tricky, just get 2 hits. You don't have to get all 3 hits. As long as you're getting 2, you should feel very good. And if you have the opportunity to, the ghosts are always going to be shooting energy attacks. And the real one can be 50-50 of a blue shot or the real one after the first one. The first one's always a guaranteed good one. The next 3 are not. This is a tough one of a spin. Yeah, I didn't stand in the right spot there.
So you try to stay close of him, and then when one shot you get you back, but you stay in line with it.
Yes, exactly. But in the scenario you had before that, where that guy shot a blue ball, I would actually walk into him to take a damage boost on purpose. So that way, when the first one may accidentally shoot a blue ball, if I split him, I'll still have the iframes to then be lined up for the second and third shot. So if the real one is first or second and not last, you actually want a damage boost through him if you're below or above him. Does that make sense? It's a lot. There's a lot to this fight, and that's why I encourage we just kind of stick to this the rest of the time.
Oh.
But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just keep doing this fight, and hopefully there'll be some more examples. So that way when if you guys watch it back, you'll get a better idea of what to do. What I would encourage is if you made like a save state with a certain pattern, try it a few times and see what works best for you. Oh, I actually didn't get 3 off the first one. But this is a fight that you can just practice over and over again, and it gets a little bit better. It's kind of like the Lambo fight.
Oh, did that count as one? I think I hit all three at the same time.
It
They were
absolutely
on
can
top of
happen.
each other.
Yep. It's really annoying. So sometimes you can kind of stand in a place that you'll kind of be off kilter just a little bit, and that might give you that benefit of not attacking at the same time.
Cycle to get like 4 cycle.
I
Or
think
3
4
cycle.
is really solid. When you get really good at this game, you're gonna want a 3 cycle. It's the difference of like 6 seconds.
All right.
But I think for right now, I think a 4 cycle is a very solid place for you to try to get like, I don't know, 70 to 80% of them. Yeah, I did not do this correctly.
Oh.
Hmm. That's probably 2 at the same time. This is a really bad one. Yeah. I knew he was going to shoot a blue ball. This is definitely a spin. Too slow. Oh my god. I knew I should have done something different. Yeah, so worried about the blue ball. I should mention to you, sometimes when you push him into the top left or top right corner, he will, if you hit him into that area and he's the last one to do an attack, he may get eaten by the wall. So you actually want to try to make sure that you don't push him into the top left or top right wall, because then he won't attack you and you'll miss out on an energy ball. I almost got 3 on that. Damn. I feel like I got the harder one there.
Come on.
2 at the same time.
When it's recombining, we should also grab the wall, right? Because it also creates lag.
I think that that's going to require too much effort, especially when you're like lining up. So I only recommend doing it in the beginning, not when you're in the fight.
No, not when you defeat him.
Oh, when you defeat him, I have been told that grabbing the wall does not affect him towards the end. The difference between where he falls actually makes a difference. I think you need him to fall to the right and you save time, but that requires way too much precision. That's what I've always been told. Where he falls can slow down or speed up the game. Didn't get that slash off. I gotta move up. All right, I'm done with that one. I think that was only one. Yep. So because he was last, I didn't mind doing a spin attack there. It's the same thing here. So yeah, let me know if there's like a pattern that you can make a save state for. Oh, it helps when I'm watching. And maybe I can help you figure out what you want to do. But this is a very difficult niche fight that it's very helpful to record yourself doing.
Oh,
So you would actually want to
Honestly.
deboost off of that BDI. If you ran into him to the left, it would push you to the right, and you kind of walk through the right shot and attack left. Yeah, that's a really tricky one, but that's what I would have tried to do in that scenario: is to bounce off him, push yourself right, and then basically slash left as it goes through you.
how
But
is that 3?
I definitely encourage you guys, if you can record your session of Aga 2, I can tell you where I would stand versus where you stand and give you more better advice. It's kind of hard to do in a live session unless we really like sit here and pause and do different scenarios. But I highly encourage you just spend 20 minutes like every day this week with this fight. There you can always improve on this fight by continuously doing it. It's a very difficult fight that a lot of people don't practice. And you get a 5 cycle, you've cost yourself 6 or 12 seconds, depending on what you're aiming for. I'll do a few more. Yeah, that's a tough one to do. That might have been a spin. So that was a good example where I knew he was going to attack and it was going to get stuck in the wall, so I stuck with the ghosts. This might be a spin. Yeah. Silly. That was so weird how he got bounced around there. This is definitely a spin. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I should have just went for 2. I was being greedy with 3. Still a 3 cycle. You need to be still a little bit higher on that one.
oh, come on.
Yeah. Too slow. Both regards, too slow. I actually think that counted as a triple. I'm still fighting him. Just slash. Nice. I don't know what to do with this. That was not what you were supposed to do. That was definitely a slashing one. Yeah, a little free on that one. Nothing to teach there. Oh my god. Getting bodied. Yeah. But definitely choose a spin underneath him when the ghosts are the ones that are last.
Oh, come on.
I'm just Did the balls hit you out of your spin attack? The ghosts?
What about the ghosts?
So I had two, or I had one where the ghosts were right here where I am, sort of top middle,
Mm-hmm.
and the real one was bottom middle.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to like spin up here
Mm-hmm.
to spin them down. But if you spin like in the ghost, does that drop your spin attack?
No.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Okay.
There is no
So I
collision
probably just
whatsoever.
let go
Maybe
too early.
the attack hit you? Is that what? Were you
Yeah, I
damaged?
think I must have let go too late or before I actually charged the spin.
That sounds right. I think the attack just hit you.
So the goal is to get the energy ball as close as to him. If you can't line it up, because no matter which angle it will be reflected, it will hit him. Right?
Yeah, if you are really close to the real Aga, then it'll have less of a trajectory of an angle, I guess, is what you're saying when
Yeah,
you attack
exactly.
it. Yeah, no, you're absolutely
So
right.
I'm trying to fake him as close as the real one as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because then it doesn't matter the angle.
No, you're absolutely right.
Take.
If you're given that opportunity, I agree with you. That was the right idea, Gab. You were just a little too slow, but that was the right idea. There you go. Nice. 4 cycle.
Yes.
So BDI and that one you could have stood under at the bottom of those ghosts if you wanted to. Right? They were all lined up since
Yeah.
2 ghosts were on top of each other. Listen, it worked out what you did. Like it didn't matter too much since it was towards the end, but yep, that is definitely one I would spin. I agree with you on that one.
Triple as well.
That one you might want to deboost through. If that guy shot a blue ball, you would have been screwed. Since the Aga 2, the real one was a little bit early on that one. I would have been more scared about that. Obviously, the first one, he's never going to shoot a blue ball, so you can spin attack underneath him. Yeah. It's tough. I'm telling you right now, it's a very tough fight. Encourage you spend. If you can spend all your time in Gauntlet and Aga 2, you're going to be crushing it. It's the most important time to not lose.
All right, I'm gonna go.
All right, buddy.
But thank you for tonight's session.
Absolutely.
See you next week.
All right. Good night.
Good night to you. Bye.
All right. I think I'm going to call it myself, BDI. I actually have to get up a little bit
Yeah.
early. But GG's today.
Yes.